Top 10 Most Dangerous Scientific Experiments Ever Conducted. Science has benefited us in numerous ways in living a better and more convenient life. However, if not properly utilized, this powerful tool has the ability to destroy lives. It has been dangerously used for political objectives at times throughout history. Furthermore, science's ambition to push the boundaries of what is already known could result in tragic outcomes. This list of horrific incidents makes us think about how powerful and harmful science can be when it is misapplied. Number 10. Experiment in Nazi concentration camps. Thousands of concentration camp inmates were used in Nazi medical research. International hypothermia, the use of malaria to infect people, poisoning persons, forced sterilization, and the use of mustard gas on captives are just a few examples of these trials. The Nazi doctor to blame for such experimentation is Joseph Mengele, the prototypical evil doctor. He was particularly interested in twins, the bulk of whom are Roma, Gypsy, and Jewish. The Angel of Death, Mengele, was responsible for crimes such as removing people's organs without anesthesia, mutilation, and injecting convicts with lethal microorganisms, among other things. Mengele also used the eyes of slain victims in his studies to prove the resistance of Roma and Jews to illnesses, which he had collected for his heterochromia study. Number 9. Unit 731. The Japanese Army tolerated cruel experimentation on individuals as part of a secret research and development program during World War II. Shiro Ishii, their general in command, was in charge of Unit 731, which housed almost 250,000 women, men, and children who participated in scientific experiments. Allied and Russian POWs, as well as Chinese casualties, made up the majority of the subjects. Forced surgical procedures include vivisections, the practice of cutting and operating live individuals without anesthesia, amputations of limbs, and the removal of internal organs such as the liver, lungs, and brain. The subjects were subjected to forced pregnancies, bacterial warfare, frostbite testing, and weapon testing using flamethrowers and grenades. Number 8. Guatemalan STD Research. Another failed experiment in the name of science in the United States. Around 1,500 Guatemalans were infected with STDs like gonorrhea and syphilis between 1945 and 1956. Military conscripts, orphans, convicts, and prostitutes were employed as test subjects in this terrible experiment. Researchers used unethical techniques, infected prostitutes, and injections to infect their subjects and complete their experiment. For their role in the initiative, the participants launched a $1 billion lawsuit against Johns Hopkins. Number 7. Kola Superdeep Borehole. A Soviet project that began in the 1970s with the intention of drilling as far into the Earth's crust as feasible. In 1994, the Soviets dug a 12-kilometer tunnel through the Kola Peninsula in Russia's far northwest. This resulted in scientific discoveries, such as ancient plankton fossils from 24 different species. There was nothing contradictory that happened, but there were concerns about abrupt seismic shocks owing to excessive drilling or the prospect of the entire planet Earth bursting apart. As of today, the hole created by this experiment has closed. Number 6. Examination of the Trinity. The first nuclear experiment is included in this list. During World War II, when America sorely needed an advantage, the Manhattan Project was conceived. On July 16, 1945, the Trinity test, the first nuclear weapon activation, took place in the desert of New Mexico. Despite the fact that most scientists are confident in their work, powerful critics question the weapon's capability, with some even questioning if the bomb would fully annihilate all living and non-living species on Earth. Number 5. The Project Aversion. A medical torture project was started in South Africa between 1971 and 1989. Their goal was to cure the military conscripts' homosexuality. The policy was ruled by apartheid, a legal framework that enforced racial practices against non-white South Africans. Coerced aversion therapy procedures such as chemical castration and electric shocks are part of this endeavor. This initiative, which allowed for about 900 sex reassignment surgery, included the Army. Homosexuality was regarded a mental illness in the medical community at the time. International groups charged Dr. Aubrey Levin, the project's professional chief psychiatrist, with human rights crimes and later condemned him to prison. Number 4. The Large Hadron Collider, or LHC, is a particle collider. This Swiss scientific apparatus is regarded as the most advanced and largest in the world. It was founded with the goal of studying and learning more about particle physics. The public, on the other hand, was afraid of this machine. It's also been blamed for creating earthquakes by bringing asteroids closer to Earth. Despite the fact that such conspiracy theories about the LHC have been discredited, it has been accused of being capable of creating black holes that may engulf the Earth. CERN, the organization in charge of the collider, does not rule out the possibility. According to CERN, the LHC is not dangerous, but it has the potential to create a black hole. Number 3. Weaponizing the Plague. Over half of Europe's population died when plague got loose. In the 13th and 14th centuries, the world's population shrank by over 100 million individuals. In the 1980s, the Soviet Union's Biological Warfare Research Department identified a way to use plague as a weapon by sending it in missile warheads to adversaries. Defectors disclosed that the Soviet bioweapons program had tons of smallpox and hundreds of cargoes of anthrax, in addition to the plague. Number 2. Tuskegee Syphilis Experiment. A government-funded research in rural Alabama withheld treatment to roughly 399 African American syphilis patients between 1932 and 1972. Despite the fact that penicillin was discovered to be effective against the disease in 1947, clinicians continued to blame patients' poor blood, failing to mention that syphilis killed people directly. The United States Public Health Service conducted this study to learn more about the natural development and effects of syphilis when left untreated. A total of 100 people died from syphilis-related complications, while 28 perished from the disease itself. Number 1. Project MKUltra. The CIA's historic quest to master mind control was dubbed Project MKUltra. It started in the 1950s and ended in 1966. Chemicals like LSD, a powerful psychedelic, were administered to subjects in this program who were often unwilling. They were deprived of their senses and sleep, as well as sexual abuse, hypnosis, and other sorts of psychological torture that no one wishes to experience. To combat the Soviets, the project's goals include developing mind-controlling drugs and investigating chemical weapons.